What if you're not lazy? What if your body is just tired of surviving? What if your mind is still protecting you from a world that made you shrink just to be safe? They said you're lazy, that you sleep too much, that you have no drive, zero energy, that you don't want better, you're not ambitious, that you're wasting your potential. But what they didn't see is that you were surviving, not resting, surviving. You're not lazy, you are wounded. You're not lazy, you're tired of carrying pain that no one can see. You're not broken. You're protecting yourself, your body, your mind is screaming for you to listen. Welcome to Unmasking You. If this resonates, subscribe so you don't have to unlearn alone. Now let's start by busting the myth of laziness. What does laziness look like on the outside? You were probably called lazy for not doing chores fast enough, for how sluggish you are when you walk, for not being productive every second of the day, for staying in bed when your soul felt heavy. You were just there, lying around, nothing in your body wanted to move. You couldn't shower, sometimes couldn't even brush. You watched time pass, hours, days, and yes, sometimes even years pass by and still nothing. Not because you didn't care, but because there was too much going on inside. You binge watched shows all night, slept all day. You procrastinated, not because you were undisciplined, but because even starting was exhausting. And they saw that and said, lazy, ole, big for nothing, or worse, ajebo, NFA, no future ambition. Like it was a bad thing to be soft in a world that praises hardness. They mocked your softness because they didn't understand your scars. You internalized it, so now every time you slow down, you feel shame. You label yourself unmotivated, undisciplined, weak. But here's what no one told you. What you call laziness may be a trauma response. It's not always about willpower. Sometimes it's about exhaustion from years of pretending you were okay. From being the responsible one, the strong one, the overachiever in chaos, the fixer. So now, your body does what it was never allowed to do before. Rest. Your mind disconnects, you freeze, you go numb, you shut down, and the world, instead of asking what hurt you, it calls you lazy. If this is a truth you needed today, comment, I'm not lazy. The trauma responses that looks like laziness, let's call it what it is. Emotional fatigue from masking your needs. Shutdown mode because your nervous system is stuck in freeze. Avoidance because everything feels like a threat. Perfectionism paralysis because nothing you do ever feels enough. Like it was a bad thing to be soft in a world that praises hardship. They mocked your softness because they didn't understand your scars. Now, what's happening on the inside? What they didn't see was the grief, the trauma, the burnt out, the exhaustion from always being strong. You were carrying the weight of memories you couldn't explain, the fear of being harmed for being yourself, the shame of not living up to someone else's version of success, or fulfilling your parents' dreams that they couldn't fulfill in their own youth, or even some in-laws that don't understand boundaries. The anxiety that made even your breath feel heavy, that constant sense of something bad is about to happen, but you didn't talk about it because you believed no one would understand. Some of us tried and got ridiculed, labeled difficult to work with, unserious, unwilling. Others shared and lost friendship, even jobs. So we butted it in order to avoid see finish. Or we told ourselves, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm just making excuses. And that's the most dangerous lie. That their judgment is more real than your truth. You're not lazy. You're in a state of silent defense. You learn to disconnect because connection was never safe. You learned to dissociate because presence used to mean pain. Even now your body remembers and it's doing its best to protect you. Even if that looks like blank stares, unopened emails, or a pile of clothes on the floor, or dirty dishes in the sink. Drop a calendar in the comments if you've ever stared at a to-do list and felt nothing. Your body was begging you to listen. Your body was screaming for a break, but you didn't stop. You kept trying to be strong until strength turned into sickness, ulcer, fatigue, hair falling out, your immune system whispering, enough. And even then, they didn't care. You asked or begged for help. They gave you silence or worse, excuses. For the breadwinners, the same people you once fed left you hungry when your season of rest came. You watched them grow while you faded, and that's when it hit you. Your wake-up call. You watched them glow while you faded. This isn't laziness. This is betrayal of yourself. You betrayed yourself for the need to please those who were only present for your usefulness. But here's the truth. You were not born to be their lifeline while you drown. You were not made to perform for love. And yes, you are allowed to outgrow those who watched you break and said nothing. The truth about healing and productivity is you don't need more shame. You need safety. You don't need to hustle harder. You need gentleness. You don't need more to-do lists. You need reminders that rest is not a sin. Healing isn't about becoming hyper-productive. It's about reconnecting with yourself. It's about asking, what would I do today if I believed I was already enough? If I didn't have to prove anything to anyone, what would I do? You have permission to heal. And healing isn't always loud or fast. Sometimes it looks like disappearing. Sometimes it looks like sleeping longer. Sometimes it looks like nothing at all, but it's still healing. And remember this, in the airplane, they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first before helping others. You can't pour from an empty cup. And you are not selfish for finally choosing yourself. You are not lazy. You are healing, and healing has its own rhythm. If this feels like you, like this video and share it with someone else who's blaming themselves for being tired. You've made it up to the end of the video. I see your efforts. If no one told you today, I'll tell you. You were born for a purpose. Everything that has breath was. Your presence here isn't a mistake. You're not useless. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're becoming aware. And when God says it's your time, no matter your age or situation, it will be right on time. So say this out loud with me. I am not lazy. I am healing. I am not weak. I am resting. I am not behind. I am on a divine schedule. Write it and paste it on your wall, mirror, car, anywhere you will see often. Post it on your phone, even as a wallpaper, and even in front of your door if you want no one to disturb you. Repeat it morning and night. Say it with conviction. If this spoke to your soul, drop a love button in the comments. Share your healing journey below. Leave a comment for the version of you that felt guilty for resting. Let them know they were never lazy. They were hurting, and that's okay. Someone might need it more than you know. This is Unmasking You, a space for the silent ones, the wounded warriors, the givers who were forgotten, the healers who needed healing. New episodes every Wednesday and Sunday at 8 p.m. West African time. We're building a tribe here, not a crowd. Welcome home. Come home to your voice. Unmask gently. Unmask honestly. This isn't weakness. This is you returning to yourself.